Next item is investment bankers. Now, we, Councilmember Lee, you just joined us. We asked the city manager to contact the investment banking people again, and he did, but Councilmember Haygood expressed some reservations about us moving forward with Frazier near, which is the only one that responded. So, you know, we clearly committed ourselves to do this in a timely fashion. So it's on you, whatever. We've heard from Mr. Haygood, we can hear from him again, or you, if you have, what's your feeling on the investment banking?
Well, my feeling is the same as it was the last bond issue we did. I think we need to make an effort to make it available to anybody who wants to take advantage of it and get the best deal for the city. I will say that with the last bond issue, I personally reached out to First Tuskegee Bank, and I think that, you know, preference should be given to local establishments. At that time, though, he told me that he was not interested in doing that bond issue nor this pending bond issue. So I guess, you know, we've done our due diligence in that regard. But, you know, I still think it should be open to whoever comes and gives the city the best deal. So if that's Frazier Lanier or if that's someone else, then I'm all for the best deal for the city of Tuskegee.
Okay. All right. Well, are you ready to move, or you want to have another meeting on this?
Is that an action item on the agenda to move on it, or I didn't see that in my packet?
Well, what we did, remember, at a council meeting before, since, as I indicated before, the court, the newspaper, and others have indicated, wanted to know what we're doing on this issue. As a matter of fact, we got a letter from the last city manager raising some concerns about the time schedule that we were working on. They thought we should be moving right along on this issue in terms of the bond issue. So we took the liberty last council meeting to ask the city manager, remember, to go ahead and touch base with the investment bankers, get that out of the way, so that once we got a figure, because we had a pretty good indication then that we were going to have a figure, we just needed to know what the figure was going to be, so that we could, once we got the figure, then we could just tell them, you know, select the investment banking team, give them the figure, and they take it. I mean, that's, you know, and we make it work. But whatever the council wants to do.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what exactly would the action be today. Would it be to authorize a specific?
Yeah, we would.
I mean, is that, we need a resolution for that? I just want to make sure we're covering our bases.
No, we just need a motion. The city manager has done what we asked him to do, and he can make a recommendation to us. If you're not ready, then he can take more time, or whatever. But keep in mind that we, you know, are on a schedule.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out exactly what would the motion be to do. I'm just
move to authorize the city manager to work with the investment banking firm and the team of investment bankers to move forward with the project. He's contacted the three, and he can make a recommendation. And if you're not ready for this one, then we can tell us what you want to do. If you want to have enough, you know, reach out to others or whatever you all want to do. So that would, the motion would be, the manager, it's on the agenda for him to recommend to us which investment banking group. And he's ready to do that. He's done what we asked him to do.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
My concern, Councilman Lee, was, as I mentioned before, was that we reached out to the two companies who had already said that they weren't interested. And I know of 2 or 3 others that may be interested if we get them the information. We just got the information of what the figure is, and we had, you know, companies on standby who were waiting to hear this. And I think it's only fair to the citizens of Tuskegee, the city of Tuskegee, that we be as competitive as possible, as you say. I have nothing against just identifying Frazier Lanier, but there may be some other companies that want to do business in this community that strengthens us toward the future, instead of having one company that floats all the bonds in Tuskegee, Macon County, period. I don't know of any other companies come in here and float any bonds. And I just think it's, if we're going to be growing community and taking advantage of opportunities, we give people time. We haven't given any other company time to even look at a figure. We just got this figure yesterday. And now that we have it, we can just take a day or two to allow other companies to consider. If they don't, it's fine. It may very well be Frazier and I have no problem with that. But I would like to give other companies the opportunity to at least say they're interested and can put together a bond and be able to float it by April 30th as the timeline has been set. It just seems that we've dealt with one set and we're moving toward that set. It doesn't show clear competitiveness to me. That's what I would favor.
Let me again say I'm not different with you, but I want to make sure that the public, since you mentioned the public, understands. We clearly said, citizens, at our last council meeting that we wanted to move ahead expeditiously on this issue. So in order to save time, we asked the city manager to go ahead and contact investment banking firms. And that's what he did. He's done that, and he's prepared to make a recommendation. Now, to say that Frazier Lanier, and I have no interest in Frazier Lanier or any investment banking firm, to say that Frazier Lanier is the only firm that has done investment banking in Macon County is not a true statement. We know that First Tuskegee has done deals, and we know that a number of other firms. But yes, there have been. I mean, it's public record. But no, you said no one in Macon County. But the point I'm stressing here is the issue here is we've got an internal revenue issue that needs to be resolved, and we have a schedule to try to do that. Now, let me just do this. Forget the investment banking firm. Tonight, if we could just do what we said we was going to do for the Internal Revenue Service, is receive the amount, and then go on record state that we will, as soon as possible, select an investment banking firm to move forward. So, Mr. Manager, how about that? If you could make, does that seem like maybe that? And by the next council meeting, you can get the names of whoever anyone else has, and contact them too as well. Okay. But we assured the Internal Revenues, I'm the one that suggested that within the next 60 days, hopefully we can go ahead and pay this off, because they have been very cooperative with us. So, what I'd recommend...
What are we on, the IRS up there?
Well, item B was the investment banking situation. That's, yeah, the IRS part is easy, I would hope. That's accepting the...
Right, okay, well, like you say, I did go through and talk to the various bankers and financial institutions here in Tuskegee. And the only outside banker I went to was Frazier Lanier. I didn't know any others to go to. I would appreciate some names that somebody could give me so I can go to them. But at this point, I'm recommending Frazier Lanier and the other team that went with him to do the previous bond issue that we got. I think they did a good job of what we asked them last time to close the bond issue.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Mayor and colleagues, I do appreciate what our city manager has done, but if we could just take a little bit more time and have the city manager look at Mayor Pro Tem Haygood's suggestions, we may get a better offer. So I'd hate to just go with Frazier Lanier and then we have a better offer from the firms that he's been looking at. So if we could give him a little time to just take a look at those firms, not forever and ever, obviously, but at least we'll be ready to be on one accord.
Yeah, that's fine. Tonight, what I do want to do is accept the settlement They graciously consented to take, to abate. I want to accept that, and then number two, go on record saying that we will, as soon as possible after we have considered other firms or whatever, move forward. Now, can we, he can do that this week. Now, would you all like to meet again next week? When would you want to meet again? I mean, you can notify the firms and have them come in for an interview this week or whatever, and then next week. Yes, ma'am, John.
Will there be any more interest added to this money while we waiting to pay it
No,
off?
this figure is good through April the 30th.
April the 30th, okay, we got to pay it off by April.
Yeah, 60 days is what we,
I do think it is important that we do go on record tonight so we can let the IRS know that we're gonna, as you said, Mayor Ford, address this issue in a speedy manner. So, if we need to set ourselves a deadline tonight when we need to deal with it and make a final decision, I think that might, I know Councilman Haygood, you're a fan of doing that sometimes and put the pressure on ourselves. But we do need to go on record. I agree 100%.
okay. So can we say, set a time, what are your times, say next Tuesday, next Wednesday, and we can invite the firms, you all can interview the firms. How long it takes you all? You're going to give him the names tonight, right?
Right, I give the names.
He'll give you
between tonight and tomorrow, exact names and phone numbers, first thing in the morning.
right. He'll give you the information. And anyone else who has any names, or anybody anywhere has any name. I want to know, it's open to the public, anyone who wants to do this. But we are not going to take forever waiting on people on this, because we committed ourselves to get this behind us. So next week,
Yeah, Ford, I'd like to offer a suggestion that we give the 20th, which is Wednesday, deadline to have a response for anyone who's seriously interested in present any kind of proposal of initial interest. If not, we proceed following the 20th. I'd like to make a motion that we accept the report from the IRS and the offer that they have made to us for the resolution at the amount of $2.4 million to resolve this issue. And the initial deadline of the 20th for anyone of interest, and that they have to show that they would be able to satisfy the April 30th deadline.
okay?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Questions, comments? Those in favor of the motion, please give the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay, so be it. So, Mr. Manager, you and Mr. Haygood, Mr. Lee, you all get together, do your interviews, and hopefully by the 20th, you will have something.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
If I could ask that we give the city manager and you a hand in bringing this to close at a point of $2.4 million down from $3.8 million.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
I would like to say, through the persistence of the mayor.
There's one thing they all know, I'm persistent. I never give up.